Hey everybody, it's Miss Cait, and I am here to read a book for you, just like Miss Ashley did last week for our March is Reading Month. And I am going to read to us today a book called The What Ifs by Emily Kilgore. And here's the cover of the book, The What Ifs. It is a book that I really love, and we will talk a little bit about why. But it's basically a story about a girl who has a lot of questions about what if and what she does to try to help her feel better. So, we are going to read together. The What Ifs. Cora was a nervous girl, always jumpy, always on edge, always wondering if something grim was going to happen. Because of this, the What Ifs loved her. Heavy, lumpy, and grumpy, the What Ifs are everywhere. In bright rooms and dark corners, in busy hallways and hushed libraries, in big cities and small towns. They slink in from unknown places and swiftly attach themselves to people when they least expect it. Then they whisper a question, so quietly, so softly, so gently, that the person usually doesn't know the what ifs are there at all. See the what ifs on her shoulder? From the moment the sun first peeked through her window in the morning to the time she pulled a warm quilt over her head at night, Cora's what ifs followed her every move. What if my dog runs away? What if I forget my homework? What if the sun stops shining? What if my crayon breaks? Many people think about their what-ifs for a moment or two, but can briskly brush them off. Cora, though, could not. It didn't matter if the what-ifs questions were silly or frightening, likely or impossible. As soon as Cora thought about them, the what-ifs grabbed hold of her. One week, Cora had more what-ifs than usual. Her piano recital was just days away. Even though she had practiced and perfected her song, the what-ifs started creeping in. What if my fingers shake? Cora questioned on Monday. What if I make a mistake? Cora wondered on Tuesday. What if nobody comes? She thought on Wednesday. What if too many people come? She worried on Thursday. It's getting pretty worried, huh? By the day of her recital, the weight of the what-ifs felt unbearable. Cora stood backstage, anxiously awaiting her turn to perform. The longer she waited, the more what-ifs appeared, each one grabbing hold and weighing her down more than the last. Have you ever had a recital or something you worked hard for and you were worried about? There are all those what-ifs. What if I trip on stage? What if the bench is too tall? What if the pedals are squeaky? What if I start coughing? What if I play the wrong note? What if nobody claps? Cora, a small voice whispered. Are you all right? Oh, great, Cora thought. What if Stella thinks I'm a crybaby? What if she doesn't understand? It's nothing, was all Cora could muster before a tiny sob escaped her thinly pressed lips. It doesn't sound like nothing, Stella said. Cora took a deep breath and said in a hushed voice, I just have too many what ifs. They make me imagine bad things that could happen. Like, what if I mess up? Or what if I sneeze during my song? Everybody gets what ifs, Cora. Just a minute ago, I asked myself, what if Cora's sad and I can help? There's Cora with all of her what ifs. And there's Stella. Listening to Stella, Cora started to wonder, what if she can help me? What if I can trust her? I wish mine were like that. My what ifs are grim. Cora looked down. Do you ever have good what ifs? Stella asked. I didn't know there were good ones, Cora whispered. Of course there are, Stella said. Like, what if there's chocolate cake after our recital? Or what if I play better than ever? Cora chimed in, peering at the boy pounding his piece on the piano. Cora suddenly felt her what-ifs begin to change. The heavy, lumpy, and grumpy what-ifs slowly slunk away, while new ones arrived in their place. Just then, the teacher announced it was Cora's turn. Cora walked out to the piano without tripping. The bench was just the right height. Her hands quivered as they hovered over the keys. But then she sat down and began to play, and the grim what-ifs slowly continued to disappear until she is playing. Clunk! She hit the wrong note. Oh no! What if everyone laughs at me? What if I get booed off the stage? Cora wanted to cry. She tried to ignore the people staring, waiting for her next move. Then out of the corner of her eye, Cora saw Stella. What if I can do this? She asked herself. Cora took a deep breath and started to play again with confidence. Her fingers danced across the keys. When she finished, the room filled with applause. Cora took her bow and smiled at Stella. She couldn't help but wonder, what if... What if I made a new friend today? Looks like they got their chocolate cake after all. So it looks like we learned a little bit from Cora, huh? In Cora's adventure in this story, she had a lot of unhelpful thoughts, right? Thoughts that made her feel bad about herself, kind of like we talked about with our aunts before. Thoughts that didn't make her feel better, but only really made her feel worse. A lot of those what ifs were pretty negative what ifs, right? So on the next couple of pages, I wanted to see if you guys can tell me which one of the thoughts you think might be a helpful thought or an unhelpful thought. So I'm going to have different thoughts on here, I think they're all what ifs, but different thoughts that make us feel good. And again, say which ones you think are helpful and which ones you think are unhelpful. What if I get embarrassed? Is that a helpful or an unhelpful thought? It's unhelpful, right? That doesn't help you feel better. It makes you feel worse. What if I learned something new? Is that a helpful or an unhelpful thought? That's a helpful thought. It helps you feel better, right? What if I learned something new is a way to get excited about something? What if I can do it? Is that a helpful or unhelpful thought? It's a helpful thought. What if I get a bad grade? Unhelpful thought. One of those makes you feel better and makes you feel like you can try something. And one of those kinds of keeps you down, right? The unhelpful thought. What if no one likes me? Is that helpful or unhelpful? Unhelpful. What if I make a new friend this year? Helpful or unhelpful? Helpful. Good job, guys. I think you've got this down. It's always good to try to change some of those unhelpful thoughts, those unhelpful what ifs, to more positive what ifs and more helpful thoughts, because those are the ones that are going to motivate you and help you move forward. Just like Cora. If Cora had stayed thinking about the unhelpful what ifs, she might have not done as well as she could have, because she would have been so bogged down with the weight of the what ifs, right? But when she changed those to more positive, helpful thoughts, she felt a lot better and was able to do amazing in her recital. So I want to ask you some questions as a class. Turn and talk to a partner, or as a class in this specific case. As a class, I want you to discuss, which would you rather do? Would you rather sing in front of a lot of people or play an instrument in front of a lot of people? Talk as a class and see what, maybe you guys all agree or maybe we don't. Let's see what wins or what doesn't win. Which would you rather, guys? Which would you rather? Feel free to stop the video and pause to answer some of these questions. Nice. Now turn and talk with a partner. What makes it hard to change unhelpful thoughts into helpful thoughts? Sometimes it's not easy. Talk with a partner about what you guys think maybe makes it hard to change those unhelpful thoughts into more helpful thoughts. Remember to pause the video. Now, Cora overcame a challenge in this book, right? Her challenge that she overcame was being able to play on stage, because she was feeling really stressed out about it, right? Really unhelpful thoughts. A lot of those were coming for her. So I want you to find a different partner this time, and I want you to talk with them about a time when you overcame a challenge like Cora did. What was it like? How did that feel for you? Talk it out with a partner. Awesome. So guys, now I have an activity, and it's on your Google Classrooms for all of you guys to do. This activity is make your own what if. And I'm going to show you, as long as it lets me, and if not, I'll have some edited magic here to show you how to make your own what if. So here is our make your own what if document that you'll see. So when you open this up, we have instructions on this first page, and I even show you there's a little paint bucket here, and this is how you can actually change the color of some of the things that you have. So on the next page, you're going to find a bunch of bits and pieces that you can use to make your own what if. And what I want you to do, here are our bits and pieces. What I want you to do is to hit this plus button over here for a new slide. If you hit this, it's going to pop up a new slide, and then you can go here and change. If you go to apply layout, you can change to any of these different layouts to change your fur color. So you can choose the fur color that you like best. One of my favorite colors is green, so I'm going to use the green fur. And so if you go to this screen and you click an item that you want, say you want one of these eyeballs right here. If you click that item and you hit Control on your computer and C, that'll copy that item. And then you can go to your monster, or your what if page, I should say, that you're making, and you can paste the item. And then you can drag that wherever you want it to go. So you can make your own this way. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, if you click on the center of your eyeball right here, so it'll look something like this, you can see the color is right here in this little paint bucket. If you hit this, it's already on gradient, but you can change the color of your eye. So if you don't want a green eye, you want maybe a red eye or a blue eye, you can change the color. You can even make it go multiple colors in it depending on what you do. If you want a solid color, you can also go over to solid and choose one here. It's going to default, I think, to gradient for most of them. You can do that with any of the items. So if you wanted a piece of fur and you wanted to make him have some fur, you can move that over here. You can make it as big as you want. And if you want to change the fill color on that, you do the same with this little paint bucket, and then you can switch it to whatever color you want it to be. So you can make it any color you would like. And there we go. So once you guys have all of your pieces together, there's horns, there's smiles, there's mouths, there's eyes, there's hair, there's little shapes so you can make antenna if you want to. There's all kinds of different things that you can do. You can even draw your own shapes and things like that. I want you to make your what if and then submit it so that we can all look at them. That'd be pretty cool. So I want to see all of our what ifs. Maybe your what if is a positive what if, or maybe your what if is a negative what if. What I want you to do is think about, once you've made your what if, think about what your what if might be. Is your what if more of a negative what if, or is your what if more of one of those positive ones, those helpful thoughts versus the unhelpful thoughts? Think about what it is. Give it a name if you would. What's your what if about? Is it about, what if I can't do make that shot in basketball? Or what if today's going to be an awesome day, right? Think about what your what if would be and make it and submit it so that we all can see. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with because I know you're all really, really creative. But remember, do your best. That's all we can do. And I'm so glad that you joined me today. Our next lesson is going to be with me on stereotyping and prejudice. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see you guys soon. Have a great spring break. Bye-bye.